My name's Jacob Bratcher. I've been going here at Graceland for almost 4 years now, I think. But it's a very unconventional story of how I got here. And I grew up my whole life not going to church, living in a secular household, loosely Catholic, but not really. So didn't have a whole lot of church experience and didn't really have anything against the church, just wasn't dealing with the things of God at all. And all that started to change when I actually got a job at Kohl's on Charlestown Road.
Chloe, Jacob, Addie, and I all met October 2017. Addie had been working at Kohl's for a year already, but the other three of us started seasonal. I remember having conversations with Jacob when he was helping me fold the entire jeans section of Kohl's. That was when we started having conversations about who God is. Jacob talked to me a little bit about what Catholicism looked like for his family. And then because I didn't really know anything about Catholicism, and then I talked about what Christianity looked like for me. God has always been present in my life, and that wasn't the case for him. So we just had a lot of conversations about what his life looked like versus mine, because he didn't really think about there being a God for such a long time.
They asked me if I ever wanted to go to church, and I was like, I don't know if I can.
He was talking about wanting to come to church, but he was kind of concerned about it. He's like, I haven't been to church since I was 9 years old. And I was like, well, good news is you're not gonna burst into flames when you walk through the door. Like, everyone is welcome no matter what. So there's nothing stopping you. Like, we want you to come if you wanna come.
So what they did is they sacrificed their time, and all four of us went to all three of their churches.
So we went to Southeast, we went to Colgate, and then we came to Graceland, and we really never left Graceland after that.
But through that, God started speaking through the sermons that I was hearing, and I started to get more involved at CSF at IUS, which is where we all went to college also.
I remember Addie got him a Bible for Christmas. We were all really excited about it.
And she had all of us highlight verses and things that were important to us for him to go through.
And Jacob was like, I don't know how quickly I'm supposed to be reading this or anything. He's like, I read 5 chapters last night. He was just so curious. It's like something had been missing from his life for a really long time, and he didn't know what it was.
Funny enough, there was actually a moment where we were going to Sky Zone as a group. And Addie, I was sitting in the seat in between Addie and Chloe. I'm sitting right there, but they're talking about me like I'm not there. And she's like, how do we know that God didn't put us in his life to share the gospel with him and bring him to Jesus? And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh wow, all this is a perfectly coordinated plan to bring me to Jesus. It was God working very intimately in that situation. And that's when it clicked, our God's not some far out being that I don't know. He's here with us right now, and he's sovereign. He's involved in everything. And through that was when I finally became a believer. At some point, I was on the list of Addie, Kai, and Chloe, right, to pray for and about coming to faith, right? So now that I'm at their point, right, and I have my own list of people that I need to be praying for. And I started out talking about I grew up in a secular household. So what that means is I have my family to pray for now. So my parents, Brenda and Michael, sister Allie, brother Corey, they're not believers. They don't know Jesus. And in my head, Jesus has now made me an ambassador for this family group, right? I'm the only one that knows Jesus as of right now, and I'm praying for them to finally come to a saving knowledge of Jesus, right? That he's the only one that can pay for their sins, and he's the only one worthy of our worship.